Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and this wonderful Saturday morning we're going to share 4 awesome new decks with you. Kicking it off with Derek's Herby list. This is a version of the Cook that was Barzy back when he played Snap, and Derek's deck they created together. That was just one of the most popular and prominent decks for several seasons. It fell from grace. Derek is back on it, and he has been absolutely crushing with it. He is currently number 1 in the leaderboard, but it's hard to say he's number 1 with one deck. Derek almost always plays a lot of different things. This right here, if you're not seeing a lot of Mobius though, is absolutely excellent into the meta and a deck that you really do want to play. Derek, you might recognize as the winner of the first ever Golden Gauntlet tournament. He doesn't do any content creation, but you can find him in several top player streams, notably the Ikas, the KM Best of the world. This deck needs Sasquatch, Gwenpool, and Mockingbird. Those 3 are non-negotiable for the deck. Hydra Bob is very nice for the list as just a 1/4 that you can play. You do want a 1-drop in that spot. Sable and America Chavez are your best bets. Mr. Fantastic is utterly unbelievable here. He is an absolute must-buy card, one of the best cards in the game. But Fantastic, Merlin, and Herby can be Sinister and Surge. I know that's another Series 5, but that's how you would have to replace it, sorry. Alright, let's go through card by card quickly. So Spider-Ham is just an extra way to control your opponent's hand. Taking away important abilities in this very ability-heavy meta is incredibly strong. It can be a snap condition, and it can because of what it hits, but it can also be a snap condition by letting your opponent know what by letting you know what your opponent's doing, and then you might know that you can go over the top of that. Hydra Bob is just decent stats. You can play it early. You are also perfectly fine playing it around turn 5 as a way to just get extra cards out to make your Sasquatch cheaper. Mr. Fantastic lets you play extra cards on that all-important turn 5 to get Sasquatch as cheap as possible, but also the +2 power really does mess with opponent math. That is especially good on the card Herby, who can double that to becoming a 2/10, stellar stats obviously, or on Mr. Mysterio, where you get a 2/10 in value out of Mysterio. The Mysterio clones become 2 power, and the real Mysterio becomes 6 power. So that's also just incredible value. Herby is just a nice card to have access to. It's not as good as Mr. Fantastic or Merlin in this deck. It's not as good as Mr. Fantastic or Merlin, period. But having access to the extra energy, being able to turn Mysterio clones into cards that have power as necessary, being able to sort of throw a rock into a lane to make Mockingbird cheaper, all that stuff does have serious value in the deck. Merlin's value is sort of threefold. Obviously, the location change is great. Getting rid of Mysterio clones or Rhino's Rock for either extra energy, or if not extra energy, for the ability to turn it into a 2-drop or a higher cost card is still excellent. Merlin having that ability. Also, just getting rid of things like rocks and such are great. Being able to once a Shang-Chi is used, turn it into a 5-drop is great. Merlin's incredible. A little underrated all of a sudden now that Fantastic is out. Mysterio we talked about, hitting Mysterio with Mr. Fantastic is great. Hitting Mysterio with Gwenpool is great. One hit of either makes a 2/10. We love 2/10s. That is double a Rhino, which is pretty damn good. It's also -3 cost on Mockingbird and -3 cost on Sasquatch, which means by just playing Mysterio on turn 5, you will have a 3 cost Mockingbird and a 3 cost Sasquatch. If you can play Rhino or anything else, or the Herby Rock comes out, you start really getting cheap. If you can drop those in a couple spells, you end up with just really cheap and incredibly powerful cards. Rhino is in some ways a backup Mysterio for Mockingbird. It's also just a decent amount of power. A 2/5 is not something we're sad to have access to. And it puts 2 cards on the lane, which is pretty good for the Herby, gives double +1. From there, we're going to go Bishop. Bishop is +3 power from Mysterio, which is really nice. On top of that, it's just a generally powerful card to have access to. You want something early that scales up so all your power isn't tied up in the late game on the Mockingbird Sasquatch, and that's the real value of that list. From there, we have Gwenpool, who does sort of the same thing, right? She's sort of just spreading out power that you can play. Your Mockingbird is suddenly 11, your Sasquatch is suddenly 12. Even if it's not hitting your extra stuff, that really does mess with the math of the opponent when you extra cubes. Power must be controlled. Some decks can go over you, and you don't put up power till late, so you should lose prio. Shang is amazing. Shang is generally what you want to play with Mockingbird or Sasquatch on that last turn. So Derek is either rank 1 or rank 2. He has been fighting back and forth over the past couple days. Turn 1, we want Ham or Bob. Turn 2, we want Merlin, if no Bishop, over Fantastic, over Merlin, and that's more or less equal to Herby, depending on what your hand is. If you're pretty sure you can't play those Merlin spells, feel free to get out Herby. You don't want to play Rhino yet. Turn 3, we're going Bishop over a 2/1. Turn 4, we're going Gwenpool, almost always. If Gwenpool hits good targets, we can snap over 2/2. Turn 5, Mysterio, Rhino, spells, 1-drops. You just sort of drop everything you can. And then we end with 2 of Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Zhong. And in some really, really wild situations, thanks to Mr. Fantastic, or Merlin's extra energy, you can play even more of that winning war games. This list is a beauty. If you're looking to hit infinite, I know numerous people have messaged me to be like, oh my goodness, I'm rocking with this. This was in yesterday's top 10 decks video, but it was the very last deck in the video, so I know a lot of people missed it. Don't miss it. Play this list. Before we get to the next list we're going to talk about, please hit that sub, like, and comment if you want 7 days a week Marvel Snap videos. They're all ready for you. We've got so many top-notch decks. Get ready, play them, live them, love them. I think you're really going to enjoy this content. If you like really advanced deck guides for the top decks in the game, this is the place for you. We're also giving away 5 Mr. Fantastics. This is the last video to sub, like, and comment for one of those 5. We will announce a winner tomorrow. There will be a winner chosen from the comments of a different video each day this week, so if you're interested in winning that Mr. Fantastic, make sure you leave that comment. I'll tell you what comment to leave later this video. It's a weird question today, so get ready. Next up, we've got MoveLactus. This is our friend Butt, who finished in the top 4 of the first ever Golden Gauntlet. He's also won 3 different Snap Judgment Leagues, finished as high as number 4 on the Infinite Leaderboard. He is currently ranked 5 with this absolutely wild list. This one is genuinely just super strange and super, different, as Butt decks often are. You can tell he's got the trademark Emperor Hulkling in there, although he's considering possibly changing Hulkling. This is a list that says you can stop my power or you can get Galactus. If you're good at reading your opponents, this is the list for you. You can find Butt at twitch.tv/ButtSquad888. Butt has streamed maybe twice ever. He's going to stream for the 3rd time today. That is Saturday. So if you're interested, make sure you check out Butt. You're going to get some of the best play in the world. This needs Galactus and Madam Web. Hellion can be Cloak. Hulkling can be Symbiote Spider-Man. That is Husky Puppies. Husky Puppies 35's change. I'm not sure if it's better or not, but that is the change that Husky would make. And then Aranya is way, way, way worse as Iron Fist, but it is a change you can do. All right, so we have the move cards. Aranya, Ghost Spider, Iron Fist, right? They want to move Human Torch, Dagger, and Vulture to get them big. If you're lucky, they're moving those cards into Madam Web. You can protect them with Cosmos so they get big. You can move them to a specific location with Hellion on the turn 5 into turn 6, which is, again, really, really strong. So, again, hopefully this all makes sense so far. As they get big, Cosmo protects them. You can move everything with Hellion and win the game. That is all the basic stuff of this move list. This is basically, this is exactly, outside of the Hulkling and Galactus, this is Sizer's current main move list, right? We should know how to play that at this point. It's a very known list. But when you play Hellion and you can move all your cards, your opponent can't, right? But you can move all your cards, and your opponent's got to figure out what you're moving, what you're not moving. They often leave a lane sort of unprotected, and then you just get free Galactus. Hulkling is here as extra stats. There is a lot of value to that being Symbiote Spider-Man, because Symbiote Spider-Man not only works with Galactus, a sudden 13-power Galactus is great, but it is incredible with Human Torch. Being able to drop Human Torch and then trigger that Symbiote, and then you can Ghost Spider it, is just an immediate 18 power, so that kind of thing does have real value, so that might end up being better, but Hulkling is also still a cube thief. Rank 5, right now, this weirdness. Again, if you can read your opponents, you're going to print cubes with this. Turn 1, Aranya. Turn 2, Madam Web, who is often a snap condition. Over double move Fist or set up Vulture. Excuse me. Choking on air. Turn 3, Vulture or Cosmo. Turn 4, we're doing our second mover. Turn 5, we're aiming to Hellion. And then turn 6, we're choosing between Heimdall and Galactus. That's kind of it. You choose between Heimdall and Galactus, you win the damn game. Tons of power, incredibly hard to beat. This list is just again, if you are good at reading your opponents, if you know where your opponent's going to play, if you know the metagame, if you can read all that, this is going to print cubes. Decks have to sell out. Very, very often, they have to absolutely sell out in order to beat the Human Torch, in order to beat the big Vulture or Dagger. And if they're selling out for that, they can't stop Galactus. Go win that game. Before we go further, I will be streaming again this coming Friday, so I'm 6 days away from my next stream, coming from Vietnam, so please make sure you're there, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Cougar and Tucker cooked this deck. They basically took the Dragon Black Knight deck that was sort of really, really dominant and said, why are we doing all this extra stuff? Why don't we just play the old Sarah Control version? This one looks a lot like the deck of our friend Zuns, 15-year-old Marvel Snap Prodigy, who was number 1 on the Infinite Leaderboard either 2 or 3 times. It started to run together, and I'm not sure. But they basically figured out how to remake that deck, largely thanks to Mr. Fantastic. So Tucker, twitch.tv/Tucker, and Cougar, twitch.tv/Cougar, combined to create this list. We need Black Knight, Luna can be Kale, Fantastic can be Merlin. You do lose a lot in this list by not having access to Mr. Fantastic. Alright, so Black Knight, basically you want to get Giganta or Infinite to be a Shard. Once they're a Shard, they're only vulnerable to Shadow King. You should know what decks play Shadow King in the metagame, right? Basically, Shadow King is in Thor's decks, Cerebro 2, and Thor's deck, Cerebro 2, and Victoria Hand deck. So you can safely play that card early. Shang is the most prominent tech card around. If they want Enchantress, then Shang it. That's 8 energy to stop your 4. You should be able to win that game. Blade is your easiest way to discard cards. Blade and Lady Sif discard cards for Black Knight. It's just that simple. Mr. Fantastic gets things cheaper. The cards we'd like to be cheaper are Sarah and Sarah and then not Luna, and then Shang. If you start getting 4s cheaper, you can do very, very silly things at the end of the game. The +2 power is just a nice thing to have access to in this list. But it's really the negative that's especially good in hand here. Shadow King is one of your 2 control cards. Basically, what makes this a Sarah list, or why we're running Sarah, is so we can run Shang and Shadow King effectively, and thus steal cubes. Juggernaut is yet another cheap I win the lane power card. Really, really good with Shang-Chi on the last turn of the game fairly often. We talked about Sif. Luna gets you into your Sarah earlier. Also, if let's say you need 7 energy on the last turn, also possible, right? Shang and Juggernaut, you didn't get Sarah. Great, you can Shang and Juggernaut because of Luna on that last turn. Ghost Rider brings back the Giganta or Infinite, which is obviously a very powerful place to be. You're just perfectly happy to suddenly have that extra power. Ghost Rider is a card, however, you would generally prefer to play late, because those 2 cards are Shang bait. Sarah lets you do all the control-y stuff along with Luna, and then Giganta and Infinite are keyword biggest card in the game. Duo Cook, once more, based on Dragon's deck. Dragon cooked a version of this that was absolutely stellar earlier. Black Knight is generally the turn 1 play. You can play Blade when you have Infinite and Black Knight or Ghost Rider. You can do the same thing on Giganta, but I tend to hold that a little longer. Turn 2, Fantastic over 1-drop. Turn 3, Luna if Sarah over Sif. Turn 4, Sarah or Shard over Ghost Rider. Turn 5, Sarah, Giganta, Shard, Rider with a 1-drop. And then turn 6, we're going Shang and Shadow King, or Shard, Ghost Rider with Shadow King. Sometimes we fit in Juggernaut too, especially after Sarah, or if we have that 7th energy. We just sort of pop off with control cards after dominating. We want to dominate a lane with big cards, force them off it, and then we want to use Shang and Shadow King to steal a different lane. That is the beauty of this list, or Juggernaut to steal a different lane without major commitment. That's the beauty of this list. Cougar and Tucker, absolutely cooked. Give this one a run. It's like ranked 30 on the Infinite Leaderboard right now. Our Season Pass question, I told you it's a weird one. If you moved, who would be the hardest person to say bye to? Something I'm thinking about now, obviously. All right, next up we got Ika's Small Good Clea. This is in fact a Binks deck. Sorry for crediting Ika. I found it in Binks' profile, and then I did some more research, but I already named it. This is a Binks deck. This is just the Small Good Cards list, the Small Good Cards Havoc, with a little bit of Clea splash. And Clea really, really does help this list an awful lot. I wish we were running Werewolf so we can move it around, but this is still very good. You can find Binks at twitch.tv/BinksPlays. This deck needs Marvel Boy, Clea, and Thena. Fantastic can be Merlin or Surge. Nico can be Kitty Pryde. Alright. Bast buffs basically every card in the deck except Agent Venom. So that's nice to have, right? Some of those buffs are more meaningful than others. Havoc, Sage, Ironheart, Thena are all incredible buffs, while the others are fine, but still Bast is great. Hitting Sable is nice. Turning Sable into an immediate 1/5 that plays as a 1/7 is a lot of power. Bast does not work with Clea, so in order to buff Clea, we are using Nico. We are using Ironheart. We are using Marvel Boy. We are using Mr. Fantastic. So keep those cards in mind if you're trying to use Clea. Getting 2 or 3 of her spell is absolutely amazing. You do have Bast here. You do have Goose here. That's not always useful. And so Nico lets you blow them up or turn them into demons. Making a copy of a Sage in particular or a Marvel Boy are both very powerful places to be. Havoc is too big. Thena is too big, although Thena requires you to play your game a certain way. I guess so does Havoc to an extent. Goose is meant to be your protection from opposing Shang-Chi nonsense, should you end up playing Havoc like turn 3, turn 4. It's not often, but it does happen. Mr. Fantastic is amazing. Getting anything for cheaper here is great, but the +2 power really, really sings. Agent Venom is the same concept as Bast, except also has a 5-power body, which is pretty nice. Ironheart is a nice buff. It plays as a 3/6. If you make it a 3 with Bast or Agent Venom, you play it a 3/9. Sage is your big lane winner at the end of the game, and Marvel Boy plays as like a 311 at least in general, 310 at least in general, which is a card, again, you're perfectly happy to play. Don't worry about that it's in different lanes, you just have to pick which 2 lanes you want it to be in. Alright, so Bast if small good Binks, Bast if you have good targets over Clea, other ones if Marvel Boy. Fantastic Evil's Agent Venom over Thena or Goose, ones if Mockingbird. Sorry, if Marvel Boy. Mockingbird. Turn 3, Thena and a 1 or Marvel Boy. Turn 4, Marvel Boy and a 1. Now we're just trying to trigger Thena over and over, right? Turn 5, Havoc and Ironheart or Goose. And then turn 6, Sage and Clea spells. This list is just really good. I don't know what else to say. It puts up a lot of points. It is very, very unpredictable. People don't know what you're doing yet. This can compete with real meta decks. Props to Binks for coming up with this huge one. And I think, excuse me, very tired from all this. I really, really hope you enjoy your vacation, my friend. If you're interested in some gameplay while I'm away, it is the stream team who you should check out. In addition to Butt streaming later today, Fawthor Newman should be streaming basically now. If you check relatively soon after this video goes live, Fawthor Newman is streaming these very decks and yesterday's decks, so make sure you check that out. Tomorrow's O Behave Day, so be there for that too. Tier support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. If you want early access to the videos, for example, there's a tier for that. If you want an exclusive video every week, there's a tier for that. And there's a tier that gets you thanked in every video. Thank you to JonesySnap22, our patron of the month. Check him out on YouTube, please. Abigail Kiesland, mandatory burnout, regardless, LAB, Inc. I am Frostman, Hota Navidete, Brian Burke, Ryan Wood Snap, Renrich, Gopher Kev, Keltor33, our 2 newest friends, Kirtixley, Koire, and Kazushi. Look at all those Ks now. We are Gopher, Keltor, Kertix, Koire, Kazushi, and Archangel. 6K. We're up to 6K now. Black Dahlia, Perafros, the Goat Seeker, and Code, our Alliance leaders. Hallowed! Only Fox Synth! Nick! Absolute Shannon. Hey, Shen. Nightmare, wake up! Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy, and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Sheska Gamble, Mr. Slusheth, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Oh, Kill, Sehoda, Clam, wait, what? Oh, I moved Steve. Okay, oof. Turtle Forbin, Rob Subman, David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig Sterry, Matt V, Corey, Corwin, John Q, and Jim McHugh. We run from Real Name Town into Q-Town. They're border each other. Q-Town is this nice little posh area. Yes, Stout, 8th Stage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, Reapser, Steve-O, 131, Yo Marco, Ted Bro, Grid Bro, Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Boom Bot, Bickety Boom Bot, Bricks 2 Click, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, Flan 56, Spectrum X, Hoot, Acu, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ, Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick, The Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, Zadric74, The King of Canada, JJ, Deadman Falcon, Fawthor Newman, check him out right now, Two Ties, thank you, my friend, the great Lauren Rodevs of the Snap on This podcast, the Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T. The T stands for, I'm going to go to sleep now. Bye. Much love, everybody. Thanks for hanging, and I'll see you tomorrow. We got 4 more great decks for you. That's what we do. Peace.